Before Roman legions marched across Europe, and centuries before the British Navy set sail, a single royal bloodline forged the longest ruling dynasty in human history. For over 1,500 years, the Cholas ruled with an iron fist, an unstoppable navy, and a golden tiger flag. While typical global empires rose and collapsed within 2 or 3 centuries, the Cholas endured. They survived the rise and fall of their contemporaries, maintaining their grip on power generation after generation. The roots of this endurance trace back to the 3rd century BCE, settling deep within the fertile plains of southern India's Kaveri River Valley. Here, the early Cholas engineered a highly advanced society. They established complex water irrigation systems, built a massive global trading economy, and pioneered systems of local democracy. But this map highlights a major geographical problem. Despite their booming economy, for centuries the early Cholas were a regional power. They were completely surrounded by heavily armed warring rival kingdoms competing for the exact same resources. This constant threat of annexation from the Cheras and Pandyas forced a change in Chola governance. To survive, they overhauled their administration to support a permanent, professional standing army, turning a defensive regional posture into an offensive state machine. That evolution crystallized in the 9th century. After generations of survival, a visionary leader named Rajaraja Chola I took the throne. He immediately stripped down the existing defense forces and systematically reorganized the Chola military into a disciplined land army. With this new machine, Rajaraja expanded his territory. He systematically crushed the neighboring Chera and Pandya kingdoms, securing control over the southern Indian subcontinent. To cement this absolute power, Rajaraja pivoted to psychological warfare through architecture. He engineered the Brihadisvara temple in Thanjavur. The tower you see here is built entirely of interlocking granite stones, precisely stacked with 0 mortar. The true scale of this achievement rests at the very top. At its absolute peak sits a single solid granite capstone, weighing a staggering 80 tons. Moving an 80-ton stone without modern machinery required a massive engineering effort. Builders constructed a 4-mile-long earthen ramp, utilizing a fleet of elephants to slowly drag this giant block of granite to the summit. The Brihadisvara temple served a distinct political purpose. It was a permanent, looming message to their rivals that the Chola administration could mobilize thousands of laborers and coordinate the complex logistics required to move thousands of tons of stone. With the southern mainland secured, Rajaraja's son, Rajendra Chola I, inherited the throne. Rajendra had no interest in simply defending what his father built. He wanted to project Chola power far beyond the Indian landmass. Rajendra established a network of permanent naval bases and patrol routes, bringing the Bay of Bengal under total Chola administration, creating a Chola Lake. To enforce these lanes, they deployed massive wooden vessels equipped with specialized flamethrowers and elite marine infantry. But Rajendra also commanded a capable land force. He launched a continental campaign, marching his army all the way north to the sacred Ganges River and defeating the powerful Pala Empire. As a trophy of this conquest, he ordered his forces to haul holy Ganges water miles back south. There, he built a new imperial capital entirely from scratch, Gangaikonda Cholapuram. By securing the entire eastern continental coastline and dominating the bay, the Cholas locked down the resources and safe launch pads required for deep ocean power projection. That power was tested when a severe economic threat emerged across the water. The Srivijaya Empire, based in modern-day Indonesia and Malaysia, began intentionally blocking vital Indian trade routes. Rajendra did not hesitate. This map plots his transoceanic response. He ordered his naval fleet to set sail, cutting across thousands of miles of open, deep water directly toward the Indonesian archipelago. The Chola fleet arrived unannounced and launched a surprise attack. They leveled Srivijaya's ports from the water, overran their coastal defenses, and captured their king. The violence and speed of this raid shattered Srivijaya's maritime chokehold. By breaking their rival's navy, the Cholas seized control over the lucrative global spice routes connecting China and the West. In the decades following the raid, the Chola Empire operated as a supreme economic hub. Their influence was so vast that they dispatched diplomatic missions to negotiate directly with the emperors of China. Yet no political entity defies time forever. By the 13th century, internal civil wars and the resurgence of regional rivals, like the Pandyas, began to fracture the empire from within. After a millennium and a half, the golden tiger flag was lowered, and the bloodline's rule over South Asia came to an end. But while the political structure collapsed, their physical and legal legacy remained. The maritime laws they established continued to govern local trade, and the immense granite temples they engineered still stand exactly where they were built. The Chola Dynasty left behind a legacy defined by blue water power projection and architectural endurance that still dictates the cultural landscape of southern India today. If you enjoyed uncovering this piece of history, hit that like button, drop a comment below about your favorite Chola achievement, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another deep dive.